Good morning, everyone. My name is John Scarbeck, and I wanted to show you something I created inside of Claude that kind of helps me with daily prioritization. So here we are inside of Claude. I created a project simply called Staff Engineer. That is my role here at GitLab as a member of the delivery team. Um, and in this project, I have a few things that I think are kind of important to help Claude understand both my role, but also help it analyze the data that I'm going to toss it. That way it could help me prioritize my day. So firstly, it's just the generic description that we have as a site reliability engineer. This is straight from our handbook, just copy and pasted as some knowledge. I also have our leveling information, the job grade and the technical areas that we're responsible for, responsibilities and such. So nothing super exciting in that front. But I also have two additional items, and these are items that other engineers have provided. So there's one, and I don't think I didn't put the source where I got this from, but I think it was Andrew that provided a blog post about someone who was talking about where um, ensuring that you do a good job as a staff engineer, make sure you're concentrating on the right things, and such. And then lastly, I think this was talked by upper management with regards to what does it mean to have a first team and how you work with them and such. So I copied and pasted effectively that entire blog post as knowledge into here. But more importantly is the instruction set or the project instructions. And this is what's taken me a little while to really iterate on. So, I gave it the context of you're a staff engineer assistant. Think critically about my position. So, make sure you're taking to account the knowledge I gave you. Let me know if you're missing any information. That way I could provide it to you. Um, Always make sure you provide hyperlinks. Claude has a really nasty ability to provide you, hey, merge request 123 is important, yet I have no idea what that is. And then I gave it specific things such as use the GitLab MCP tool, use the memory MCP tool. That way it helps me understand how to prioritize my day, and it actually goes into GitLab and grabs all this information. Um, the one thing I do not have set up is the calendar. Um, And then Drive, I don't really know how to pull specific items out of Google Drive that are really relevant. So there are some shortcomings, but I do have Florian's GitLab MCB server. I got another one that is not used, and then I got the memory MCB service. Both of those, or all of these, effectively being open source. But I started this one a few seconds ago, and it does a pretty decent job. So all I give it is a simple prompt, analyze my day, prioritize it, and I'm trying to ask for it to look into the memory MCP for anything that I've asked for it to memorize. That way, it could hopefully give me some information. The downside is that not all the time do I get appropriate responses. So here we did at least get some decent information out of getting the user to-dos. The merge requests, I assume we got some good stuff. It looks like we did. User issues that are assigned to me, looks like it did. But read graph, this historically, yeah, I did not get a response. So I still need to do something with the memory MCP service, but that's for another day. But today, this is relatively accurate. Release management is my top priority today, so it's a good thing that I mentioned this. Um, it looks like we have some stable branch failures, so I'll end up looking at those shortly afterwards. Um, and then, it starts understanding where I need to be to some extent in regards to strategizing the other things that I'm responsible for. So this is an active work in progress for me. There is some review coming from our container registry team that they want me to look at, so I'll make sure I'll follow up on that. Then we have some other items such as long-term projects that are taking a while to complete, but there's a couple of items that are on my plate. But then it also delves into other stuff I might be missing, so things that it helps me think about when it comes to looking at my day in general. So is there anything we could do for release automation that could be automated? Making sure I'm working across the team. And also making sure, yeah, it's calling out that some of my MRs do not have documentation, which, that may or may not be legitimate depending on the project I'm working inside of. So, um, luckily, it told me that I'm doing a pretty good job at focusing on just a few initiatives. It does tell me that maybe I could consider working with other members of my team to consider growth for those team members, which I know I am doing to some extent. So I need to figure out how I could do that better here. Um, And then it gives me a basic action plan. It tells me, hey, work on the next 2 hours, the most important things. In the afternoon, do this. Context, this is likely part of what is missing from other sources. So there are things that as a staff engineer that I need to keep track of, but I don't know how to get Claude to recognize that. So these are issues, epics, maybe merge requests that are not going to be assigned to me. These are Google documents that we create all over the place that I don't know how to say, dear Claude, memorize these. So I'm still working on that part. Um, but yeah, so, this is just a simple project. It's got a bunch of information that's very important and instruction set that I think is the most difficult part to really work on and make it work for me. This has been something I've been using this roughly every day now. Um, and I enjoy it. I would love to see something like this inside a GitLab Duo because GitLab has all of that context, including the epics that you're responsible for and such. That's something that I don't think any of our MCB servers are capable of because I think there's an API limitation. I can't really remember off the top of my head what that is. Um, but there are other areas that I need to figure out how to do better with. So like calendar and maybe Gmail as well. But we need to also somehow deduplicate information. But so I just want to showcase this. So if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day. Thank you.